Good morning, grandkids. Well, I don't know what Inigo is up to or what he's going to do. Let's see if he has something to say to us this
Yes, my
morning.
friend.
Any thoughts, Inigo, before you wander
Watch
around?
you keep the fire low. It would be a shame if all this went up in smoke.
Well, you could tend to the fire while I'm reading to all the grandkids.
Okay, talk to you later.
Alrighty. Okay, grandkids, this morning we are going to read A Minor Maze. A Minor Maze, Shaladar and Labyrinthian. And look at this maze. It looks like an hourglass, and there's going to be a clue in the book of how to go through it. A couple of clues, actually. And we'll come back to this picture when it gets to one of them. Labyrinthian's modern notoriety was gained in the early part of the Third Era. Part of the Staff of Chaos was recovered from the Labyrinthian, which became instrumental in the overthrow of Jaeger Thorn, ending the Imperial... I do not know how to pronounce that word. You can try yourselves. The site has since become embedded in the minds of all subjects of the Empire, and the ruins are occasionally visited by loyalist pilgrims, retracing the steps of the Eternal Champion. The namesake of Labyrinthian is somewhat less commonly known, however. The foreboding ruins were originally built as a temple to the dragons. This grew into Bromjunar. I'm going to say Bromjunar, a great city of that area. Bromjunar is believed to be by some to have been the capital of Skyrim at the height of the dragon cult's influence there. Little historical record exists to verify or refute this, but it is known that the highest-ranking priests of the cult met at Labyrinthian to discuss matters of ruling. Bromjunar crumbled, however, along with the rest of the dragon cult, and the site lay abandoned for many years, a deteriorating reminder of those benighted days for the Nords. Not until the days of Shalador would the ruins come into use again. Shalador the Archmage was famous for his exploits in the First Era. Various tales tell of him battling Dwemer legions single-handedly, building the city of Winterhold with a whispered spell, stealing the secret of life from Akatosh, or constructing the Labyrinthian himself. While many Shalador legends are hyperbole or outright fabrication, we can discover some truth behind his involvement with Labyrinthian. Shalador stood at the forefront of a movement to enact high standards among mages and to discourage spell use among the common castes. This effort is dubiously credited with the original organization and formation of the schools of magic and of the foundation of the College of Winterhold. Consistent with this mentality, Shalador constructed his labyrinth deep within the ruins of Bromjunar to test new archmages. While navigating the destroyed city itself was not explicitly a part of the test, many candidates did not survive the journey. Shalador valued both academic knowledge as well as practical skill, and simply getting to the labyrinth required the latter, skill. Here's a picture of the labyrinth again. That's a lot to get through, isn't it? All of those twists and turns. Shalador's Labyrinthian is actually 2 intersecting mazes in an hourglass pattern. One maze could not be completed without exiting to the other first, which makes the only existing instruction for the test especially mysterious. And here's the instruction. Enter twice. Exit only once. Alteration will lead to destruction. Only illusion shows the way to restoration. Conjure not, but be conjured instead. That's very strange sounding instruction, isn't it? We'll come back to that. We can only guess at what the solution to the test may have been, as Labyrinthian became notorious, not only for the number of potential archmages who died there, but for the intense secrecy of those who succeeded. Labyrinthian eventually ceased to be used and is regarded as a symbol of a more brutal age by modern institutions for magical studies. The ruins lay empty again, overrun with wild animals and avoided by travelers. The long history and legacy of this place, however, seems as likely to be erased from our minds as the ruins themselves are likely to sink into the sea. Now let's look at this. The first part of the instruction is enter twice and exit only once. How can you enter something twice if you can only exit one time? Well, let's look at the pattern. I can't use my cursor here, but down at the bottom of the page, you enter and wind your way around through all of this until you can get through, and you can see on each side, one or the other is the way to go on into the second half of the maze. So that way you're entering this maze and then you're entering that maze. That's the enter twice. And then you exit out that second maze, which is the exit once. And this instruction about alteration, destruction, illusion, restoration, and conjure in the corners, different corners going around through these mazes are, I forget if it's stones or soul gems or what it is that's in those corners, but it's something that has symbols on it, and the symbols are for alteration, and destruction, and illusion, and so on. And it sort of guides you or shows you the way. So be sure and look for those symbols. I forget if you have to click on them or if they're just showing you the way, but you'll figure it out. You should all go there and try going through that maze. I think I went through it once, and I got a very claustrophobic feeling, because I can get very claustrophobic anyway in small enclosed spaces. And I felt like I was trapped and never going to be able to get out of there. It was kind of frightening, even though it's just a game and you're really not in there. You're sitting out here in your chair, but it feels so real that you just feel almost suffocatingly trapped, like you're never going to be able to get out. So maybe some of you can get through it easier than I did. So that's our story for today. And Inigo, I see you're still standing there. Do you have any more thoughts for us?
This is a lovely home you have here. The build is good quality, and it smells woody.
It smells woody? Well, it's a log cabin, it looks like to me, so I guess it would smell woody.
I'm afraid not.
You don't have any more thoughts? Okay. Well, goodbye, grandkids, and we'll see you the next time you come to visit. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope those clues that the book gave us will be enough to help you get through the labyrinth, and you ought to try it if you don't get too claustrophobic. I'll talk to you next time, grandkids. Come back for another story. Bye-bye.